Okie dokie. So we got 7, okay. Saludos, Nelson. Saludos. Welcome. Saludos, Dr. Evil. It does. It's very comfy. It sure is. Thank you for you guys being here already so early. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Birthday week. That's right. Birthday week. Birthday week. You should see the cake that I'm trying to produce. It's with the logo of Opus in Time. The red, white, and blue. Unbelievable. Like a Pepsi. Remember those Pepsi bottles from the '60s and '70s? You open it up. It's like a cap. Saludos, Mike. Saludos to all of you. Okay, so let's get this gig going already. Also, we have 9 people. 9 people. You guys can hear me fine. Is that correct? Yes. Okay, so. Super, super, super. Yes. Okay, great. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back once again to the show. Today I'm going to ask you, this is something that, Kino has really enforced in me. And to be honest, it has been working. So please don't forget to give us a big, nice thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you're new to the channel, try subscribing to the channel. Maybe you'll like it, maybe you won't. And then you unsubscribe and that's it. And also, that bell thing, it really works. Like I don't know if they click the bell or something to that effect. You can do that. You'll get all my things that are happening. My live streams, a video. Uploaded a video. All that good stuff. So please don't forget to do that for us. So let's just get right into the show, ladies and gentlemen. The first thing I want to tell all of you is something that a lot of people like to come to. A lot, not all of you. A lot of people like to come to sunny South Florida. I mean Miami, Miami Beach. But I'm going to tell all of you something that many people won't dare to tell you, but I will because I'm a kind man. If you're planning to come to visit Miami on Labor Day weekend and all that good stuff, those days, come to Miami Beach with a Casio watch, leave your bling bling, back home wherever you're coming from. Don't bring it over here. And I'm gonna explain to you a couple of things that you guys should know that it happens here a lot, But many of your favorite Muppet Boiler Room secondary grade watch market channels won't tell you because it's not to their advantage. But to me, I don't have nothing that I'm doing with you guys. I want to give you a watch, a market report, and tell you a little bit of what's happening out there. Exactly. Over here in Miami, they'll take off your socks off without taking off your shoes, and you don't know what happens. So I'm gonna just get right into it. In Miramar, Florida. Miramar, Florida. It's a little city, a little away from us, but it's very very close to us. Very close. Let's say a good, from me, 20 minutes. 20 minutes from me. Somebody over there in Miramar got knocked around and they took off their Rolex Date Yellow Gold President, value at somewhere they say at $50,000, that happened, a couple of weeks ago. And today, a lady went to the hospital. So you can see how the fever here is of people that we have a lot of pretenders that live here in Miami. Listen to me. We have a lot of pretenders that live here. They have a brand new Mercedes Benz and they live in a studio in efficiency. You know what I'm trying to say? Or no, Winnebago. One of those things. Winnebago You know, one of those vans, one of those RVs. They even rent those out and they live there, and outside they have parked the Lamborghini. You understand what I'm trying to say? So they live always, trying to, it's all show, it's all show. This is Miami, not me. We don't live that way. Me or Sweet Kid Kino. Well, to be honest, Kino, no te pongas bravo. No te pongas bravo. Kino at one moment used to live that way until I straightened him out. I straightened him out. You know, Kino wanted to have, one of those go fast cars and living in a bathhouse, and I took that out. So, this lady went to the hospital here in Miami. In Miami, she went to the hospital and she had on a Rolex Date President, yellow gold, diamond bezel, diamond dial. And when she got to the hospital, they told her that she could not have any jewelry on when she was being admitted to the hospital. And they took off the watch and a mashugana, un palomo, un lambón. He saw the watch and he went and he took it. Only the eye in the sky was watching him, the eye in the sky. So they got him, that happened, today. And Saturday, people were clubbing and popping bottles and doing the cheeky boom boom, over there with the bottles of champagne, with the sparkles and the bottle of champagnes. This is Miami, papi. It's all a lie. It's all a lie. Don't believe what you're hearing out there about Miami. It's all pretenders. All pretenders. And they went to one of those clubs over there called Galaxy Space Mountain, And when they came out of the club, they were over there in the Colonial Hotel in Miami Beach, having some chicken and waffles over there, over there in Miami Beach. Listen, nobody's going to talk to you the way I talk to you. I make it sound silly. I make it sound funny. But believe me, what I'm telling you is 99.9% the truth. No sean lambones. No sean palomos. And while he was eating his waffles and his chicken, two thugs came around. They took his Rolex away. They don't know if it was a Daytona. They don't know if it was a masterpiece. They don't know what it was. And then the lady, they slapped her a couple of times in the back of the head. They took away one of those fancy bracelets, another watch. Boom. So if you're planning to come over here, for Labor Day weekend, come with a Swatch watch, come with a Casio, come with a Fossil, come with an Apple phone, and your life will be nice. They won't look at you. But if you come with those watches over here, they're gonna get you. Okay, I live in a city where pretenders live. Everything is rented. We don't do that. I don't live that way. What you see is what you get from me. 16 organic Watch Channel subscribers, 4 thumbs up. Come on, papi, no sean lambones, no sean gilipollas. Coño, es que quiero, no te metas. Yo sé lo que te estoy hablando. No te metas. No te puedes meter, Kino, porque yo sé lo que te estoy hablando. ¿Tú entiendes? This is a public service watch announcement. And all the platforms out there should be proud that I'm doing this kind of content. And over there, the policemen's, the ICA, whatever it is, IFB, they should be happy that I'm making this kind of content, for all of you out there. So nothing will happen to you in sunny Miami Beach. Okay? No te metas. Yo sé lo que estoy hablando, Kino. No te metas. So you got that, right? Any plans coming over here? And if you don't have plans, then maybe your niece is coming over, your nephew, your sister, your brother, your grandmother, your grandfather, your father, your mother, you let them know that I told you the truth. That I live in a pretending city where people drive red, gold, fast cars, green, wrap, fast cars, yellow, gold, fast cars, and they live in an efficiency. In Hialeah. I'm telling you what it is, ladies and gentlemen. I'm telling you. All right. Now that I got that out of the way, I also want to tell you something, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to blow your hair back and knock your socks off. Ladies and gentlemen, you're not going to believe this. Muppet Boiler Room secondary grade watch market channels are calling us so we can assist them on watch prices. So help me God. They're calling us up, asking me for prices on a Rolex date with a crayon green dial, yellow gold with a crayon green dial. And I was nice enough and I gave her the price. It was a lady that called me for that, She's been here. She's always in my channel, always spooking around. But she had the courage to drop me off a comment. And then she dropped me off another one, and I told her that I will give her a live update on the watch that she's looking for, and I will do it today, okay? I will do it today. So I want you to know that these Muppet Boiler Room secondary grade watch market channels, these flim-flammers who have been fleecing you people for so long are calling me and Sweet Kikino for our expertise, because we're experts. We're self-proclaimed experts, unless you want to say that we are experts. But meanwhile, we'll say that we are self-proclaimed experts. Sí, Kino, si ellos no lo dicen, yo tengo que decirlo. We're self-proclaimed. No te metas más. I know what I'm telling you. So, I want you to know what's going on, what's happening with that, Ladies and gentlemen, I also want to tell you something else. I always want to tell you something else because it's unbelievable. That lady that ran for the presidency of this country a couple of years ago, 5, 6 years ago, maybe 8 years ago. She's married to that gentleman, the guy over there, I say that always the watch market is dropping faster than Bill Clinton's pants, So, it's unbelievable, ladies and gentlemen. We try to cover a lot of things in this channel. A lot of things, try to cover them, the Clinton machine, the Clinton machine. And ladies and gentlemen, you're not going to believe this. But that lady that she ran against that guy, the guy is in Pennsylvania today, Pennsylvania Avenue. That lady is saying that she would like to recommend that guy from Pennsylvania Avenue, he gets the, ¿cómo se llama eso? El Nobel, el Peace, el Nobel Peace. Peace Nobel, Kino, coño, ayúdame. The Nobel Peace Prize, something to that, right? There it is, you see that? The Nobel Peace Prize. And it's incredible how I told you the way these people work. I have tried. To the ones that are here right now watching this, you're going to be lucky. And you're going to be lucky because I'm going to tell you something that's going to be beneficioso para ti. You're going to benefit from this. You're going to benefit, And I'm going to come and tell you this. Mr. Siga, thank you very much for that super chat. I appreciate that you're supporting this unbelievable channel that we have. Thank you very much. Siga lo mandó 20 cabillas. Thank you very much, Mr. Siga. Peace to you. Thank you very much. Unbelievable, that Siga. Unbelievable. And what I'm going to tell you is going to be very special for you guys. Very special. I told you that lady, the Clinton machine lady, is pushing that the guy from Pennsylvania Avenue, he be nominated to win or win the Nobel Peace Prize. You heard that part. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell you something, how these people, the owners of the world, work. The owners of the world, BlackRock, State Street, Vanguard, the Rockefellers, Rothschild, JP Morgan. You understand what I'm trying to say? The way they work. While the guy from the White House, from Pennsylvania Avenue, was sitting down and walking in red carpet with that guy, from Russia, and the Russian leaders looking to the sky for the big airplane flying by. You're not going to believe this. You're not going to believe this. And this is why I'm trying to tell you that the only people that run this country, is the ICA. If you don't know what the ICA, your organic watch channel tomato can recovering, fellas, will help you out. You put the letters together. They're the only ones that run the country, the ICA. So the guy from Pennsylvania Avenue was trying to make something happen with the guy from Russia. And while they were talking over there in that summit somewhere in Alaska, you're not going to believe this. That guy was bombing Ukraine. It's unbelievable, ladies and gentlemen. Don't think for a moment that guy from Pennsylvania Avenue, that guy from Pennsylvania Avenue is running the show. You're not running no show. While you were there, showing your big equipment, that stealth. And the Raptor, ¿cómo se llama el avión? El Raptor. The F-22 Raptor, they were flying together, and the guy Putin looking up, and, we don't know if that was something that was being done to intimidate the guy from Russia. But one thing I'm going to tell you, I believe that the Russian guy had a button, he was pushing it, bing, 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 and he started bombarding a bigger bomb, it was kaboom, it was a kaboom over in Ukraine. So just to let you guys know that these people, the only people that run the world, are the owners of the world. That's it. Not that guy from Russia and not that guy from Pennsylvania Avenue. I'm just telling you what it is. I'm telling you what you're scared to say. I'm saying it. I'm just telling you what it is. Also, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to know that gold, gold is holding real strong at $3,360 an ounce. $3,360 an ounce. But ladies and gentlemen, I must tell you something that's even more important than that. I told you about rhodium. I told you about rhodium. And somebody in this channel said that rhodium is the cryptocurrency. It's more powerful than cryptocurrency. I didn't say that. I didn't say that. Somebody said in this channel that, that rhodium is the new cryptocurrency. And ladies and gentlemen, when I started telling you about cryptocurrency in the month of July of 2025, it was at $5,400 an ounce. And today, ladies and gentlemen, I got to tell you the truth again. If you know, you know. And if you don't know, you'll know today. It's up at $7,700 a troy ounce. I'm just telling you what it is. What they won't dare to tell you, I will. And I don't mind telling you guys. Let me drink a little bit of jungle juice to slow me down. My wife is always taking care of me, It's a business. That war over there in Ukraine and Russia is a business. And those people over there are dying. Those people, those BlackRock, the Bilderbergers, State Street, Vanguard. This is it's unbelievable. Rockefellers, JP Morgan, Bobby. The Masons, the Illuminati. These people están acabando con el mundo. They're finishing with the world. It's all a business, papi. They don't care about you or me. I'm telling you what it is, ladies and gentlemen. This is a business. It's a big business. You don't know about this stuff. You don't know. I can't even go deeper than this because I might blow your hair back and knock your socks off. Unbelievable but true. This is unbelievable, ladies and gentlemen. I know what I'm telling you. I know what I'm telling you. You know, I told you when Dwight Eisenhower left the White House and he did his farewell speech, he said, you must look very carefully at two things in this country because he was already leaving already and he already knew. He already knew the big sketch. He already knew the big sketch real deep. He knew it. And he said two things. You must take a good look see at the ICA. He was telling you the ICA. And you must look at the military complex industrial. You know, something to that. You know, if you guys want to help me with the word, help me out. I'm not ashamed. I don't get embarrassed, but it's something military complex industrial or military, you know, industrial complex. You know, one of those two things, and the ICA. You don't know who the ICA is? It's incredible. Kino, 21 subscribers, 8 thumbs up. You know? That's what I'm trying to tell you. No respetan, no ayudan. Gracias a Dios que tenemos gente buena. You know, we got good people. I know what I'm trying to tell you. You know? Exactly. There you go. There you go, Mr. Pete. There you go. That's it. Bobby, this is a business. And they told the guy in Pennsylvania Avenue, stop playing around. Keep on playing around with your flying planes. You know, and you two, you know, this other Meshuggah from Russia, you two, get out of here. Press the button. Because you know who has that war finance? Do you know who has that war finance? You know, you recovering tomato cans. Who has that war between Russia and Ukraine finance? And he's going to win in either side, Ukraine or Russia. Well, let me tell you, the Rothschilds, they have the finance. They're the ones that are worth $600 trillion. You understand me? You understand what I'm trying to say? I'm trying to bring something smart for you. I'm not trying to dumb down on you guys. I'm trying to awaken you guys. You cannot continue sleepwalking around the streets. You cannot continue skip hopping around through life like rabbits with a lollipop sucker in your mouth. It's all a business, ladies and gentlemen. It's all a business. And if you think that I'm having fun saying this about Ukraine and Russia, whatsoever at all. I'm explaining to you what it is. That we don't run nothing in this world. The owners of the world. Those are puppets. 2 puppets. How can it be? Was it that he was making fun? Was the guy from the White House making fun of the guy from Ukraine? Was the guy from Ukraine making fun of the guy from the White House? Because while they were talking in Alaska, this guy was bombarding those people over there. That's crazy. It's a business, man. It's a business. I also want to talk to you about something, ladies and gentlemen, that has fallen into our laps. You know, my laps and sweet Kit Kino. You know, I have something here that I would like you guys to hear. I would like to, you know, for you people to hear this so you understand where we're heading to. It's unbelievable what's happening. And I'm going to put this on for you guys because I think you guys should hear this. You know, you guys should really hear this. Pay attention to this.
Of the luxury bazaar, I think it's the golden luxury bazaar actually, is Roman Schaaf, and he joins me now. I've got a big picture question for you, Roman. The luxury business seems to be in trouble because of tariffs on luxury goods coming out of Europe. Am I right? Is the luxury business in trouble?
It is the obvious answer, and if you look at some numbers across the majors, we do see declines in revenue, we see declines in profits, using a brand like LVMH, for example, right? However, the answer is not so obvious. I personally don't think the 39% tariffs will stick. I think a deal will be made, and I'm hoping it goes to the 15% that you saw across European Union. However, one of the things that people don't talk about once they get past all the numbers, like LVMH being down 4% of revenue, 22% of their profits, et cetera, you can see the clear numbers. one of the things that people don't see is what happens when you come off the biggest bull run we have seen since prior to the 2008 housing crisis, i.e. 2006 and 2007 in the luxury goods market. When things are good and everyone is making money, their income, their additional income or expandable income is spent on luxury goods, be it cars, antiques, collectibles, watches, and jewelry. What happens post-boom? Those people, due to uncertainties, are certainly not in the mood to buy luxury goods. But at the same token, they've bought enough over the last 3 years.
Sure.
Some of my clients have beefed up their collections 200 to 300%. How much more does one need, especially when there's uncertainty in the market?
Do you find people taking money out of the stock market boom? I mean, we've had a long, long rally. A lot of people have made a great deal of money in stocks. Do you see people taking money, liquidating some of their stocks and putting it into luxury items?
I've seen the luxury goods market have become an alternative asset class. While for 20 some years I've been preaching that watches are not an investment, there are expensive toys, but there are exceptions to the rule. And it's becoming increasingly difficult to argue, especially what we saw during the COVID boom when some of the watches went up 300 to 400%. And yet when they came down, when the correction happened, they didn't come down to its original levels or lower, which is what you would expect. They're actually still trading. A lot of the pieces that Bob's watches just showed are still trading nearly 2x, 1.5x their retail value.
Am I right in saying that you're the guy who paid, I think, $9,000 for a pair of Donald Trump golden sneakers? That's you in the picture, I think. You paid $9,000 for that.
That is me.
That's you. Yeah, okay. A couple of years
ago. That's one commodity. That's one commodity that has gone up in prices, and it's not affected by tariffs because it went from being $9,000 to absolutely priceless. Although I've had an offer of $42,000 for them already.
Would you do it again?
Absolutely. I would do it in a heartbeat.
If he comes out with another luxury item of some sort, I'm not sure what it would be. You'd buy it because it's Trump?
I bought the sneakers due to the fact that I am a big fan of Donald Trump. And I also bought the sneakers because I'm a sneakerhead. I actually collect sneakers. In the back of my head, I said to myself, these guys have to be worth at least 10 grand, and it's a pretty decent investment. Same concept as you look at people purchasing luxury goods such as watches, thinking, hey, this is a decent place to park money. I may even end up in the plus column, or at the very least, it's a safe place to park money.
Tell me again, please. I missed it. You paid $9,000 for the golden sneakers. How much are they worth now?
They're priceless to me because of that purchase and the media blowing up and calling me all sorts of names. I ended up meeting the president alongside with my son. So to me, they're actually prices that went from $9,000 to priceless. But I have had an offer of $42,000 for them.
42 grand. Okay, not a bad investment. You're all right. Thanks very much for joining us, Romo. We really appreciate it. Good stuff.
Thanks. Thank you for having me. Have a good one.
You see, I just put this on for you, and I have 16 organic subscribers here. How many of you heard that, from Fox Business? How many of you heard that from? Anybody heard that already? Well, this is your first time you heard it. From Sweet Kid Kino, the brains from this channel, the brains. I'm the voice. Did you hear this before, or this is your first time? You heard it, okay? You heard it, okay? So basically, all of you heard this then. All of you heard it, but nobody ever mentioned a word. You're first, okay? Super Thurston Howard III, super. So ladies and gentlemen, this was, so you understand, Damon heard about it, and he must have heard about it on August the 6th, because this is when this aired from Fox Business. And today we are at the August the 19th, and they were talking about the tariffs were not going to come in, and that he thought they're going to be at 15, lottie, and nothing is going to happen. This is the subliminal message they got for you people out there. All these people, they have some way, somehow, a way to work with, these channels, Fox News, MSNBC, CNN, you pay them a couple of bucks, do me an interview so I can say that everything is going to be working fine, the tariffs are going to be good, there's going to be no problem. Like the other guy too, the genie from 47th Street, the Diamond District, the genie, he was all over Fox News because he was skipping like a rabbit while they were hitting him in the head to take off all his watches. all these people buy airtime, you know? I'm just telling you what it is, something that you don't think about, but we here at Opus in Time, we're always thinking about everything. You know, these people they buy, do me a little interview, and you understand? We do a little MK Ultra, a los Lamboni, a los Palomo, eso, and they'll listen to us again. But you guys are lucky. You 20 are lucky you have me. You're lucky that you have me. You know, these people are saying that no, nothing is going to happen. And the watch business is going steadily unbelievable to different heights. You know, you guys have to be, you have to be strong. Don't let this MK Ultra, this Pluto trance. Pluto was always hanging out with Popeye because Pluto always wanted to be with olive oil. And whenever he wanted to have some playtime with olive oil, he would do the trance. You think I'm playing around. Pluto was an SOB. This Pluto was unbelievable. I mean, I'm telling you what's going on. You guys don't know about this, and I have to tell you in different forms. So, this won't happen. This won't happen. I have to talk to you that way. This is how it is. The MK Ultra, these people are unbelievable. This is what they will do. That's what the ICA does. The ICA sits down all these puppets, and they put them under a spell. You don't know about that. You don't know about that. But I have to keep on telling you so you guys awaken. Listen to me, ladies and gentlemen. There's a gentleman that I am a big fan. He is no longer with us here no more. His name is Aaron Russo. Aaron Russo. And Aaron Russo was a very successful man. He did unbelievable movies. He was over there in Hollywood until he made a fatal mistake. Does anybody know what was the fatal mistake that Aaron Russo, excuse me. I said Aaron Rodgers, the football player. Aaron Russo made. Does anybody know the fatal mistake? Because he made a fatal mistake. Fatal. Nobody knows. If somebody tells me just yes, I'll be happy. If you guys don't, I'll feel kind of sad. Okay, I think I'm going to feel kind of sad. The fatal mistake that Aaron Russo did is that he met Rockefeller. He met one of the Rockefellers, man. And Rockefeller had a real liking to Mr. Aaron Russo. And Rockefeller told him a lot of things that blew his mind away. Blew his hair back, his socks off, his underwear hands had skid marks. When you hear these people talk, ladies and gentlemen, you guys are still watching, you still guys are watching the Kardashians, you're watching the Kardashians and you're watching Ozzy Osbourne, those shows that he would do. But when you hear those people talk, eso es la tranca, that's poison. When you hear those people talking, you say, what? Because these people, they know everything. And so when Aaron Russo heard all that, suddenly he got sick and he left the world because, he wasn't agreeing too much what they were doing to the people out there. Listen to me, I made it to you funny, but the day you look at this, you're going to always say, man, how did that Puerto Rican dude, man, and if you ask me, I bet I'm not going to say that to you because it's too strong for you guys. I shouldn't say that to you guys. I'm going to go into a watch market update. But take a look at Aaron Russo, for real. Take a look at him and you'll hear what he has to say. And they told him, what happened with Aaron Russo, they told him, listen, they told him, Aaron, we like you very, very much, but we have rules. We have rules here. They told Aaron, the Rockefeller, and they told him, we don't have suggestions. We have rules here. And when he broke the rules, he had a slip and fall, and that was it. It's what it is, guys. So I am telling you a little bit about everything so you know what's happening. This is un plan de ataque. This is a plan of attack they have on all of you. Not on me. Not on me, papi. They don't have no plan of attack on me. I'm cool. But on you guys. Because these guys can make you, you know, another gentleman that I'm going to talk to you about is that gentleman from the fish tank. You know the guy from fish tank? I told you that guy who lambón. I told you that guy he's a cheap, you know, he's a cheap, una prostituta, you know, the guy over there, you know, the guy with the shaved head, you know, that sits over there, you know, you know who I'm talking about. This guy will sell his soul. He will sell his soul. You put the rest, you know, for a couple of coins. I'm just letting you know what's going on. And these people, all of them, you know, they stick together, you know, like the guy from Beverly Hills, you know, toupee wig man, you know, pink jeans, green shoes, you know, flower shirt, you know, toupee. He's worth over $400 million. These people, they sell their soul. They will sell their mother's soul, you know, for money. And this is how it is. All right? I'm just telling you, no sean lambones, you know? I'm just telling you what's going on. I'm going to go into the watch market update. And as I go into the watch market update, you know, I'll get into more things so we can, you know, we can break the cycle, waves, you know what I'm saying? You know, so nothing will happen out there, you know? You know what I'm trying to say. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to give a watch market update to that lady that she works for one of those flim flammers, you know, somewhere over there in New York City and Brooklyn, you know, somewhere. And she's calling me up for a Rolex date rose gold with an olive green dial. Unbelievable looking time machine, 40 millimeter, reference number 228235, with a retail price of $47,500. And this watch, in that Corona beer era, it went all the way up to $95,000. But it wasn't in the Corona beer era $47,500. It was only worth $41,600 at that time. And ladies and gentlemen, you do yourself a favor. Ma'am, here's your watch market update so you know what's going on. Don't pay for that watch, and I mean don't pay. We're talking about used, slighter condition material watches in this channel. Don't pay for that watch more than $43,500 and Kino, aguántame. Hold me back. Hold me back. Hold me back. I'm on fire today, ladies and gentlemen. I ain't coming messing around. I ain't messing around. You do whatever you want with your money. It's your money, and you do whatever you want. But in this channel, we have rules, not suggestions. They're not like us. They're not like us. All the way up, like the song. I'm just telling you what's going on. Our next watch is a Rolex date rose gold. Only this one has a white dial. 40 millimeter, reference number 228235, with a retail price of $47,500. Man, don't pay for that watch. Don't be, no seas una lambona. Don't do it. Don't pay for that watch more, and I mean more than $38,000. And there it is, papá. Tú estás jodido, papi. There's no money out there. The SBA loans are over. The PPP loans are over. The government grants are over. The free government money has dried up, ladies and gentlemen. There's no money here for nobody. Esto se jodió, papi. Se jodió. Dios. Unbelievable, ladies and gentlemen. Our next watch is the Black Pain 50 Phantoms. Unbelievable watch. You know, reference number 501012B 4064A. It's a new watch, ladies and gentlemen, a new watch. Unbelievable, ladies and gentlemen. This watch has a retail price of $20,200, 42 millimeter. Unbelievable, this watch. It's Phantom, you know. They made those watches from Swatch watches, you know, the 50 Phantoms, you know. Unbelievable, but, you know, you do whatever you want. This is, you know, we have subscribers in this channel, and they asked me to do these watch market updates, and I'm gonna oblige and do it for them, you know? $20,200 is the retail price. Don't pay, Pete. Pete, don't do it, Pete. If you want to give money away, Pete, like that, give it away to the animal shelters. Give it away to UNICEF. Don't do it. Don't pay for that 50 phantoms. Don't pay, and I mean don't pay. Don't pay more than $9,200 and dumping. Dumping, tú estás jodido. Dumping again, te jodió Kino. No te metas, Kino, no te metas, Kino, no te metas, no te metas, no te metas. Tú estás jodido. No hay dinero, papi, no hay dinero. No hay dinero. But you see the cake I'm going to buy for my birthday on Friday. It's unbelievable. We're going to have a celebration. I'm going to open a bottle of J and B. You know the bottle of J and B and Seagram 7? I'm going to, under my father's name. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to give you an entry watch, which when you enter there, they give you the Pluto Trance. You know, the Pluto Trance, they give it to you. Thank you very much, Mr. P, for that super chat. Thank you very much from the bottom of my heart, Papa. You didn't have to do that, but thank you so much, Papa. Thank you so much. I was kidding around the UNICEF and all that. I was kidding around, Papa. Thank you very much again. We're going to be talking about an entry watch. That when you enter their boutique, this is the watch they offer you. We're talking about Richard Mille watches. We're talking about the Richard Mille RM028 Ti. Okay? Entry level watch, ladies and gentlemen. You know, it's an unbelievable machine. You know, entry level. You know, this is the watch they give you before they let you go into the RMs. You know, which they're dead already. They're dead. But we're talking about a watch. This watch is over $200,000 in retail. $200,000. And they give you the Pluto Boutique Trance. They give it to you. What they do to olive oil always. You know, olive oil and Pluto. You know? And then he kicks it back to Popeye. Porque Popeye es un lambón. Popeye es un palomo. You know? He's naive. Popeye's a naive. If he doesn't have that spinach, está jodido. Unbelievable, but true. But ladies and gentlemen, that Richard Mille is worth over $200,000. And this is the watch they try to push on you guys before they give you the RM. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell you, you do whatever you want, but don't pay for that watch, for that Richard Mille. Round, and it's round like a flying saucer, you know, like a flying saucer. Don't pay for that watch. You do whatever you want. But don't pay for that watch more, and I mean more than $48,000 and dumping. Dumping, Kino, está jodido, de verdad. Dumping again, de verdad. Ellos lo saben. Dumping again, more, right, Mr. Ed Blair? Dumping again, se jodió. Dumping again, se jodió. I'm telling you, I'm on fire today, ladies and gentlemen. I need some more jungle juice. It's running out. Unbelievable. You don't understand how it's dropping. It's disgusting. Maybe next week will be at 38. I know what I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen. I know what I'm telling you. Please, somebody calculate this for me. If the watch costs $238,000, right? That round, you know, that entry-level Richard Mille. And I'm telling you, don't pay more than 48. What is the percentage discount on that watch right now? From $238,000 to $48,000. Please, somebody put it up there for me. Tengo que saber, Kino. Ladies and gentlemen, here's another one for you. And this watch in the Corona Beer era, it went all the way up. I mean, all the way up. And I saw it with my own eyes. I saw people, I know friends, they bought that watch because they heard the sketch. This is going to go to the moon. This is going to go 80%. Wow. 80%, papi. No sean pendejos. 80%, Mr. Blair just put it there. Look at it. Ladies and gentlemen, this watch went all the way up to $180,000. This is a Rolex Platinum Daytona with a chocolate ceramic bezel and a pamper blue dial. You know, Pampers, you know, the Pampers you use for the babies, it was Pamper, you know, light baby blue, you know. Unbelievable. This is an unbelievable 40 millimeter, you know? The retail price of that watch is $93,000, ladies and gentlemen. And you're not gonna believe this. You do whatever you want. It's a collector's choice. It's a collector's grade. It's a collector's dream. And today, Franco Fiore calls it a collector's grave. You know, the grave, cemetery, grave. Don't pay for that Daytona. You do whatever you want with your money. But don't pay for that Daytona more. Don't get scared. Don't get scared. You don't want to put down a price? I'll let two of you put a price up there. Let's see how good you are. Two. Collector's grave. Nobody wants to put a price? It went all the way up to $180,000. And they told people that watch was going to hit $300,000, like Wheel of Fortune, you know? Unbelievable, these people with the trance, you know? Subliminal messages. Bing, 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 wire, bing, 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 bing. Nobody knows? Here it goes. Nobody knows. Don't pay more than $73,000, and it is. Dumping! Oof, he put 74. Wow. I said 73. Dumping again. Kino, jálame para atrás. Jálame para atrás, Kino. Jálame, Kino. Jálame. Dumping. I don't know who he was. Dumping, but he said 74. Dumping again. I know what I'm telling you. The #1 watch market update show in the world, chosen by no other than Fudinki. I know what I'm telling you. I don't know who that gentleman was, but he says $74,000. Who is he? Thomas Broadbent. I can't see where. I'm sorry. This is unbelievable. I know I might hurt myself. I don't know what's going on. I'm not feeling well today. I need to drink a pill. Fudinki. I'm telling you. I know what I'm telling you. Listen to me, ladies and gentlemen. When a gentleman that comes from nowhere and says a price, I said 73. He says 74. I don't know where he came from. I don't know if he's a subscriber. I don't know if he's spooking. I don't know who he is. But you saw the price he put there. He's a very smart man. And that watch is just dropping. Mira, like a slow, you know what a slow leak is? Does anybody know what a slow leak is? This is like a slow leak. You know? I know what I'm telling you. Ladies and gentlemen, our next watch is an AP Royal Oak Titanium Perpetual Calendar. Unbelievable, this watch. Unbelievable, this watch, you know? 26574 Ti. That's the reference number, 41 millimeter. Blue dial, ladies and gentlemen. You know, this is an unbelievable looking time machine, ladies and gentlemen. You know, this is incredible, you know? This right here is a monster watch. And if you like this watch, this AP Royal Oak Titanium Perpetual Calendar Blue Dial 41 millimeter, you know, this is a beastly watch, you know? You put this watch on, and if the ladies don't drop their panties, the gentlemen will drop their skip mark Hanes underwears on your feet. Don't pay for that watch, ladies and gentlemen. You do whatever you want. But don't pay for that AP Royal Oak Titanium Perpetual Calendar. Don't pay more, and I mean don't pay more than $102,000. And dumping! You do whatever you want. Today is fire. I'm bringing fire. I'm bringing fire today. Oh my God. Who is this again? Pete? Pete, there it is. Pete, you made up. I said 102, you said 104. That means you know something already. That's what that means. Good for you, Papi. Good for you. Good for you. Ladies and gentlemen, our next watch is an unbelievable watch. It's an AP Royal Oak stainless steel 41 millimeter with a sinker gray, you know, dial. You know, those fishing sinker. You know, the sinker, the weight, you know, has that gray color. Unbelievable looking watch. But it's a 50th anniversary. You know what 50th anniversary equals? Equals this. 50th anniversary on the rotor. You know the rotor spins around? It says 50th anniversary, ladies and gentlemen. You know, I know what I'm trying to tell you. You must have, yeah, you heard it. That's right. The ripoff. Ladies and gentlemen, 50th anniversary reference number 15510ST equals that. Exactly, Dr. Evil. Exactly. 41. Retail price is $30,000. $30,000, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm going to tell you the truth and nothing but the truth. Don't pay for that watch. And I mean this. 50th anniversary. Don't pay more. No, Papi, you went too strong on that watch. You're really giving money away there. Like you're giving away your children's tuition money away with that price you just put there. Don't pay for that watch. For that AP Royal Oak stainless steel 41 millimeter with a sinker gray dial, 50th anniversary, 15510, 41 millimeter retail price $30,000. Don't pay more than $36,500 and dumping. Dumping. Jodido, papi, there's no money out there, bro. There's no money out there. Those people want me to do the crossover. They want me to do the crossover. They want me to do the crossover, ladies and gentlemen. And you might believe that I'm BSing you, but they want me to do the crossover. I can't leave you guys behind. Lo joden. Lo joden. You continue skip hopping around through life like rabbits. You know, you guys at one moment were, tomato cans, and now you're recovering, from being a tomato can. I know what I'm trying to tell you, ladies and gentlemen. I know what I'm trying to tell you. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to talk about a watch brand that it's a very beautiful watch brand. I don't do a lot of watch market update on this because I don't get a lot of requests, but today I did get a request on that watch brand, and we're talking about no other than Frank Mueller. Frank Mueller, the Vanguard, the Vanguard, the beach blue, the blue beach, rabbit, something to that. It's unbelievable, these people, the names they put on these watches, 300 pieces around the world, Unbelievable watch, ladies and gentlemen. Unbelievable watch. The reference number of this watch is unbelievable. It's the V as in Victor 415CD. The beach. Retail price is $22,000. $22,000. I want to hear somebody tell me how much. Somebody said before, you don't pay more than 50%, 60%. I want to hear what you guys have to say about that Frank, Mueller Vanguard, the beach blue, dolphin. I don't know what it was. Rabbit. I don't know what it has in there. This is unbelievable, these people, They call it the FR. They're trying to make it sound like a Richard Mille itself, It's unbelievable, that Frank Mueller, It's unbelievable. Half. Look at that. Half price already. Look at that. See that? Let me tell you, you're right, Thomas. You're right about that. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell you, don't pay for this brand new watch. It's sickening, It's sickening. Papi, let me tell you something. And I can't emphasize it so much. Wow, I got very smart there with that word, emphasize it, I can say every once in a while a big word, I don't know about big words, but every once in a while they come out after I get a shot of jungle juice. Let me give you the Frank Mueller price, and then I'm going to talk to you about something. Don't pay for that Frank Mueller. The beach blue, the FR, the FR2. Don't pay for that watch more than $9,800 and dropping. You do whatever you want. Mira, muchacho, le voy a decir algo. Listen, gentlemen, I'm going to tell you something. There are only 4 watches that could withstand the hurricanes, the storms, the thunder lightnings. Only 4. Only 4. Vacheron Constantin, Adamas Piquet, Patek Philippe, and ladies and gentlemen, I gotta show you the king of watches. That's it. The rest are dead. You understand me? The rest are dead. I don't care what they tell you. The rest are dead. I don't care. Listen to me. I told you something about the group swatch. You know, the group swatch, whatever you call it, the group watch, whatever it is, I told you. They must have under their umbrella, I don't know, they can close them all down. When Costco is making more money, more of a profit, selling hot dogs and Quartz watches than you, it's time for you to go. There's only 4 watch brands. Don't care. I'm going to just say something because I have to say something. There is a watch brand that I don't know how it hasn't taken off, because let me tell you something. They make tremendous dials, tremendous movements, tremendous, they have tremendous craftsmanship. But they're just exactly. Who said this, man? Man, get the frog out of here, bro. H moves. Listen to me. This is, I'm telling you, I don't have no contact with not one person in this Scout's honor. I don't have. Wow. H moves, man. In the deck. H Moser should be moving in there with those watches that I just finished telling you. Damon, why did you say that, Papa? No, really, please write something for me there. Why did you say that? What did you say about the moose? Why? I'm a big fan of them. Papa, you might be a big fan of them, but there has to be something else, like I'm telling you. These people make tremendous craftsmanship on their movement, on their casing, on their bracelet. Papa, these guys are flying, and they're all the way in the bottom. I'm telling you. But I'm in shock how you said Moser. And I'm mad that I didn't beat you to the punchline. It's H. Moser. I don't know. Those watches are unbelievable. I'm not telling none of you to buy that watch, because if you buy that watch, you gotta buy it at 65, 70% off. How's that? So you understand where I'm coming from now. But I am telling you that watch, I don't know how it hasn't made a move. I don't know how that watch has not made a move. Papa, I know too much about watches, man. I eat, I sleep, I dream. I know what I'm telling you, but what really freaked me out is what Mr. Damon said. Mr. Blair, did you hear what Damon said? He took it out of my mouth. This is, I think we should stop this watch market up there already. The Tourbillon, man, that Streamline. They're in another galaxy. They're flying. They're flying. Okay, that one too. But I'm telling you, H. Moser, I'm telling you, they should be there. I'm here. Let me sit in the round table of Rolex. Let me sit in the round table of Rolex. H. Moser, the moose. I'm telling you. I know it, and listen, it's not because I make, the king of watches or the Moser. No. Papi, they're making tremendous watches. What I'm trying to tell you by that is that if you can get your hands on those watches at 70, 75% off, Papi, buy it, take it, let's go. Because they're making, listen, and they're promoting that watch in every corner. When a watch gets promoted to a circuit like Formula One, the money they're putting in there, so you understand me. Estos no son unos lambones like Avanti. You know Avanti watches? Son unos lambones. These are people that have vaquero, back up. Back up, papi, back up, back up, back up. Listen to Damon. I was gonna say, and he beat me to the punchline. That's not supposed to happen. They're not like us. They're not like us, but it happens. I'm in shock with Mr. Damon, what he said. Wow. Bravo, papá. Tremendo. Ladies and gentlemen, our next watch is a Rolex GMT Bruce Wayne with a Jubilee bracelet. They call this the Zombie. They call it the Bruce Wayne. They call it the Bumblebee. It's a two-tone. Yellow gold with stainless steel. It's an unbelievable looking time machine. Reference number 126713GRNR. Retail price is $18,500. At one moment, it was like $16,500. Look how it's gone up since it came out. This is gross. It is gross. Rolex is gonna have to do something big. Something big. I mean big, ladies and gentlemen. You don't understand. You don't know about that. You don't understand. You don't understand. Don't pay. Don't pay for that zombie, I don't know, Bumblebee, whatever they call it, Bruce Wayne. Don't pay for that watch. You do whatever you want. But don't pay for that watch more than $17,600 and dropping. You do whatever you want. Don't argue with me. Argue with the dealers you buy it from. You know, cut a clip, send it to them. Cut a clip like that lady did. She cut a clip and she said, this is what this man says that the date, yellow gold with the crayon green dial costs. And it worked for her like a charm. Do the same thing. No sean lambones. No sean lambones. Ladies and gentlemen, our next watch is a Patek Philippe white gold. Complication. This is for a gentleman that asked me for this watch. You know, I believe his name is Grand 65. I want him to feel good. Grand 65. And this watch is white gold. You know, complication 5326, 41 millimeter, white gold. Unbelievable, this watch, you know, travel time, it's an annual calendar travel time with a leather strap. Retail price, ladies and gentlemen, is $87,000. Unbelievable watch, $515. $87,000. Somebody wrote down $90,000. Okay. $90,000 for that watch. $87,515. Mr. Grand 65. Don't pay for that watch. You do whatever you want. Does anybody know? Somebody said 90. Can somebody give me one more price? Buenas tardes. Saludo. Saludo, papá. Saludo. Okay, we got somebody that knows what they're talking about now. We'll leave it at 65. Don't pay for that watch. Ready? Don't pay for that watch more than $61,500. And grande, grande 65. Grande. Se jodió. You do whatever you want. You do whatever you want. You do whatever you want. Do whatever you want. Ladies and gentlemen, our next watch is a Patek Philippe Platinum. Complications. 5659. You know, retrograde, you know, it's unbelievable. Perpetual calendar, but it's a 36 millimeter. 36 millimeter. You know that one? Again, with leather and all that good stuff. Does anybody know what price I have for that Patek too? You know, complication as well. Does anybody know? Nobody knows? I'm going to make it quickly for this other gentleman. No sea lambón, papi. No sea palomo. Don't pay for that watch. And I mean, don't pay for that watch more than $32,000. And ¡Dapping! ¡Papá! ¡Dapping! ¡Ah! Se jodió esto, papá. Kino, el negocio de los relojes está jodido. No hay dinero. No hay más dinero. No hay más dinero. No hay más dinero. No hay más dinero. When Halloween gets here, you know what? Not even Halloween. When they change that hour, it gets dark. I don't know where you guys live at, but you know, we here in Miami, they change it sometime in October, you know, and at 5 o'clock at night it's dark, you know, dark, pitch dark, you know. It's unbelievable. I don't know about that time, you know. It's unbelievable. Ladies and gentlemen, I have another watch market update for you guys. This is the Adamas Piquet Royal Oak Yellow Gold. Pay attention, ladies and gentlemen. Pay attention. An AP